All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Incredible fight, fun fight to watch out of the UK today. Kell Brook and Amir Khan. Fight winds up being long wait, but I'm glad that we got to see it. Let's talk about what happened in that fight in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Man, what a really good fight took place in I think the welterweight division between Kell Brook and Amir Khan from the UK. A fight that people have been waiting for the last, I don't know, a long time. Winds up pretty much being worth the wait and having been executed just the way that it probably would have happened years ago if the fight was made. But before we get into what happened and what it means for the welterweight division or the 154-pound division, let me first thank everybody that supports the channel. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support by watching the videos. And also, if you're subscribed, thank you. If you're not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also make sure you guys hit that bell icon so that you can be notified of all the videos we release, but you got to make sure that you hit all notifications to make that happen. So, Amir Khan gets knocked out, or the fight gets stopped in the 6th round after getting brutalized by Kell Brook in a fight that there's no other way to say it, was a one-sided fight, man against boy type of fight. Amir Khan came out there, with a very amateurish type of style from my perspective, throwing jabs, trying to get hit Kell Brook with, fast combinations. Kell Brook saw every combination coming, slipped the combinations, countered the combinations, and eventually just started quickly countering him with big shots, big heavy shots, countering Khan with big heavy shots, backing him up against the ropes, and just slowly, not even slowly, quickly breaking this guy down with shots to the head, shots to the body in a fight that has to go down as, a mismatch. That's the only way that I can describe that fight. On Twitter, I released a tweet right before it started, and I was like, man, this has a feeling of an Oscar De La Hoya, Fernando Vargas type of fight where, it's a fight that we've been waiting for a very long time, but one guy is about to blow through the other. And that is exactly what we got. We got a fight where it was just very clear that Amir Khan is not the same level of fighter as Kell Brook. And Kell Brook had proved a lot of doubters wrong. So congratulations to Kell Brook. He was just the sturdier fighter, the steadier fighter, broke that dude down, wound up getting the stoppage. Amir Khan, is starting to sound like what a lot of people say, Amir Khan. A guy that was a very exceptional amateur and got to the pros, but as soon as he got and started fighting guys that have a very solid professional style, he had problems. That lack of a chin on Amir Khan is just a killer. And pretty much it was what Kell Brook was focused on the whole time, and Kell Brook got it. It was not a close fight, and it's a fight. You don't need another rematch. It's just what it is, man. Absolutely excellent performance by Kell Brook. One thing that I do want to say, though, about this fight is that this proves to me, and should show other people, that even though fights take a long time to develop, don't stop asking for fights. Right about now, after watching that fight, I don't care how long people, talk about, all the different stuff that Canelo Alvarez does, or other fighters do, or Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford, or take, for example, Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. Those fights need to happen. I don't care if some of these dudes lose, whatever the case is. It's the fight itself that makes boxing interesting. This dude right here, Kell Brook, was a welterweight that has lost. That got knocked out by Errol Spence Jr. Right? He got knocked out or stopped by Gennady Golovkin. He got dominated in a one-sided fight and stopped against Terrence Crawford, right? So we know that Kell Brook is not a top level fighter. He's not, the A+ level fighter in boxing. However, when he's matched against a guy who we have interest in, we have interest in Kell Brook, we got interest in Amir Khan, and that fight happens. Those fights wind up being exciting, electrifying fights without the belts. Now note, this fight is exciting. I'm telling you, I was very, very excited for the fight coming in. As soon as the bell started ringing and I started seeing people walking into the ring and knowing the fight was going to get on, man, I'm telling you, my interest started peaking. I felt like, man, I'm really, really glad this fight is happening. Better late than I even tweeted out. And make sure y'all follow me on Twitter. Shameless plug. I was like, make sure you got, that I'm excited going into the fight. I'm amped, better late than never. Same thing should go with a lot of these fights that are in boxing, man. And I hope that this shows an example to cats, that we can have, even if a fight may be a little bit long in the tooth, it's still a really, really good fight. Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua, right? Deontay Wilder lost to Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua most definitely is lost to Alexander Usyk, and more than likely is going to lose to Alexander Usyk again. But still, the fight between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua will still get that same excitement, and it won't make that big a difference that they lost to other people, because the interest at the end of the day really is who's going to win that fight between those two people. And it actually shows, in my opinion, how there's a real flaw in the way that the networks present fights, because the TV networks and promoters always talking about championship belts, right? Like, oh, this is for this championship, this is for that championship. But it's like, how connected are we really to those championship belts? I'm not. This particular fight shows that it's not about the belts, because this was no belts on the line. It was just bragging rights between who was going to win the fight between Kell Brook and Amir Khan. Both guys clearly past their prime, but a fight that was more exciting and more engaging and had a more satisfying outcome than many of the championship fights that we get to see for belts that are out there with fighters that we really do not care about, right? So honestly, man, my hat goes off in this particular instance. My hat goes off to Kell Brook for coming back and showing that he was the better man than Amir Khan. It's not a situation where, Kell Brook is now going to come back and be on top of the 154-pound division or be on top of the 147-pound division. But we know that in a fair fight between the two of these guys, who the better fighter is, and that is Kell Brook. And Kell Brook proved that to all of the fans of Amir Khan, and he proved that to all of the fans of Kell Brook. And it shows you that fighters' careers are not over and just because they got a loss, right? Which is what networks try to convince us of a lot of times by their actions, and the way that promoters, by the way that they talk, and other fans try to talk, fans try to convince us by the way that they talk. So anyway, man, it was just an excellent, excellent fight. This is the first time in a long time that I really did watch every fight. Every fight for, I don't know, it was like 7 hours of boxing, however long it was. Some fights weren't that good, some fights were good, but man, it really did end up on a very, very high note. Congratulations to Kell Brook. Congratulations to Amir Khan, man, for giving his all and accepting the challenge and not leaving that question out there, for people to be guessing about for however long they care about these fighters, right? We know now that the chapter is closed on Amir Khan and Kell Brook. It's not a situation like Sugar Ray Leonard and Aaron Pryor, where people have to talk about for 50 years who would have won if those guys would have got in the ring with each other. And again, I hope that this really does mean, and other fighters take notice, that you don't need to have Jake Paul type of fights with people, with MMA fighters to make boxing exciting. If there's not, a fight where there's the best two guys in the world fighting each other, you can have fights like this, legitimate grudge matches between guys that are, in the later portions of their career, and still make boxing exciting. So all in all, man, I was really, really happy with it. Congratulations to Kell Brook. Congratulations to Amir Khan. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.